Hello everyone, good day. I am Monilar and I'm here to present my 20 most common grammatical errors. Before we will proceed to my top 20 common grammatical errors, let us know first what is grammatical error. So, grammatical error is a term used in prescriptive grammar to describe an instance of faulty and conventional or controversial usage, such as a misplaced modifier or an inappropriate verb tense, also called a usage error. My first grammatical error is your versus your. So, your without an a is a possessive pronoun that describes ownership of an item. Your with an a is the contraction of you are. So, for example, this one. Do you know when you're going? So, by reading this sentence, we can already sense that there is something wrong in the construction of the sentence. Why? Because this sentence uses your without an a. Supposedly, this sentence should use the your with an a because it does not show something that or someone owns something. So let us read the correct one. Do you know when you're going? So in this sentence, the correct one is the second sentence, which is do you know when you're going? So your here is with an a. So when I was in elementary, I could still remember that this your versus your is my very common mistake that I did during or when I am making a sentence or paragraph or essay. So I still remember that in my elementary days, I used you're welcome with your without an e. So I realized when I was in high school that supposedly in you're welcome, it should be your with an e. So that's my common mistake when I was elementary, and later on I realized what is my mistake and I was able to correct that one. For the second one, we have its versus its. Its without an apostrophe is the possessive form of the pronoun it. Its with an apostrophe is the contraction of the word it is. So for example, it's going to be sunny tomorrow. So by reading this sentence, we can say that it is incorrect. Why? Because this sentence used the word it's without an apostrophe. But it's here doesn't show any possessiveness of owning something. So supposed to be, this sentence should use the word it is, which have a contraction word it's with an apostrophe. So the correct construction of the sentence is it's going to be sunny tomorrow. So it's here supposed to be have an apostrophe. So here is the correct sentence. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. So it's here have an apostrophe. The third one is everyday versus everyday. Everyday is an adjective we use to describe something that's seen or used every day, while everyday is a phrase that simply means each day. So for example, he starts work every day at 8 in the morning. This sentence seems correct, but it is incorrect. Why? It's because of the word everyday. So this sentence supposed to use every day because it states that someone work each day or every day at 8 in the morning. So the correct construction of the sentence is he starts work every day at 8 in the morning. It uses the two words which is every and day. So the correct construction of the sentence again is he starts work every day at 8 in the morning. So before I thought that using every day and every day is correct. So no matter what kind of sentence I create, it's okay to use every day or either every day. But as I did my research about this kind of activity, I realized that I was wrong. So thankfully, I have given this kind of activity because I was able to correct my grammar. Next, we have lie versus lay. So to lie is intransitive, which means it doesn't have an object and doesn't do anything to anyone or anything else. While to lay is transitive, which means it does have an object as in something or someone is doing something. For example, I laid the dish in the dishwasher. So this sentence seems correct, but as we go further of the rules of transitive and intransitive, we could say that this sentence is incorrect. Because this sentence uses lie, which is intransitive, and the rule of intransitive, it doesn't have an object. But this sentence have an object which is the dish. So supposedly, this sentence should use lay. So the correct construction of the sentence, I lay the dish in the dishwasher. So uses lay. Again, the correct construction of the sentence, I lay the dish in the dishwasher. For the fifth grammatical error, we have less versus fewer. So we must use less for things that can't be counted. We must also use less with the numbers when they are single or total unit that measures distance or amount of time. While fewer, we must use it for numbered countable things. For example, less than 50 people showed up for the presentation. So it is incorrect because people here shows that it is countable. So the correct construction of the sentence is fewer than 50 people showed up for the presentation. So before I thought that we could use less or fewer interchangeably. But as I do my research for this activity, I realized that less is for uncountable things and fewer is for countable things. So again, the correct construction of the sentence, fewer than 50 people showed up for the presentation. For the next grammatical error, we have there versus there. They have the same pronunciation but different spelling and different meaning. The first there here, which spells as THERE, is a place indicator, while the second there here, which spells as THEER, is a possessiveness of owning something or possessive adjective. For example, their car is red. So by reading this sentence, we can say that this sentence is incorrect. Why? Because this sentence uses the first there, which is a place indicator. But the sentence doesn't indicate a place. Instead, it indicates that the subject have a red car. So supposedly, it should use the second there. So the correct construction of the sentence is, their car is red. So before up until now, it still confuses me what to use between there and there. But now I realize that the first there should be in a place indicator and the second there is a possessiveness of owning something. For another grammatical error, we have to versus to. To is typically used before a noun or verb and describes a destination, recipient, or action, while to is a word that uses as an alternative to also or as well. It's also used to describe an adjective in extremes. For example, Sarah gave the book to Tim. So this sentence is incorrect because this sentence uses to with double O's. Supposedly, this sentence should use to with one O. Why? Because it has a recipient which is Tim. So the correct construction of the sentence should be Sarah gave the book to Tim. So the to here with only one O. So way back when I was in grade 2, I could still remember that I used to say you too. So my to there is only one O. But supposedly it should be you too. The to there should be double O. Next grammatical error, we have that versus which. That is used to indicate a specific object, item, person, and condition, while which is used to add information to objects, item, people, and situations. For example, she was driving the van which had German plates. So before I thought this sentence is correct. But as I undergo the rules of the uses of that and which, I realize that this sentence is incorrect. Because this sentence uses which, but supposedly it should use that, because it has a specific object which is the German plates. So the correct construction of the sentence is, she was driving the van that had German plates. For another grammatical error, we have N2 versus N2. N2 usually appears with phrasal verbs that ends with N, while N2 typically indicates movement of one thing going inside another. For example, the ugly duckling transformed into a swan. So this is incorrect. The correct construction of the sentence should be, the ugly duckling transformed into a swan. For another grammatical error, we have has versus have. Has is a singular third-person conjugations that includes the pronouns he, she, and it, while have it pertains to the first person, second person, and plural third-person conjugations that also includes the pronouns I, you, we, and they. So for example, she have no idea that they are planning a surprise party. So before I think this sentence is correct, but later on I realized that it is incorrect because the subject she here is a singular, so I must use has. So the correct construction of the sentence is supposed to be, she has no idea that they are planning a surprise party. For another grammatical error, we have "n" versus "on." The function of "n" in a preposition is to indicate something is inside something else, or more abstractly to measure time. It is used when you want to indicate a possession within a general space. It is also used when something is inside an area or residing somewhere, while "on" is used to indicate possession, usually indicating that something is on top of something else. It is also used when you want to indicate a possession above or atop of space. For example, my journal is in the desk. So before, I thought this sentence is correct because it confuses me when to use "n" and when to use "on." But as I did my research about the rules of using "n" and "on, I realized that this is wrong, because in my sentence I use "n", supposedly I should use "on", because my journal, I place it on my desk. So the correct construction of the sentence is, my journal is on the desk. Next grammatical error, we have "may" versus "might." May indicates that you are more likely to do something. May is better for present tense, and it also indicates a possibility, while might suggests that you are less likely to do something. It also indicates a hypothetical probability. For example, you may make it on time but you'll have to hurry. So before, I thought this sentence is correct because I thought that I can use may and might interchangeably. But as I did my research regarding the common grammatical errors, I realized that I was wrong, because in this sentence, supposed to be I should use might because it shows less probability. So the correct construction of the sentence supposed to be, you might make it on time but you'll have to hurry. Next common grammatical errors, we have much versus many. Much is used to describe mass nouns or uncountable nouns like juice, rice, patience, and happiness. When using much, the noun will always be singular. It cannot be plural. While many is used to describe countable nouns or nouns that can be counted like books, leaves, and shoes. For example, there are too much cars. So I could still remember way back when I was elementary, I thought this sentence is correct. But I realized that this is wrong because cars are countable. So the correct construction of the sentence is, there are too many cars. Next common grammatical errors, we have complement versus complement. The first complement, which spells as complement, refers to something nice that you tell to someone, while the second complement, which spells as complement, refers to something that go well together. For example, your shoes complement your outfit so well. So before, I thought this is correct because I thought that the first complement is the past tense of the second complement. So later on, I realized that I was wrong. So I realized that in this sentence, I must use complement because it pertains to something that go well together. So the correct construction of the sentence must be, your shoes complement your outfit so well. So the use of complement here must be the second complement. Another common grammatical error, we have a versus an. Use a when the noun or adjective that comes next begins with a consonant sound, while an, use it when the noun or adjective that comes next begins with a vowel sound. For example, the man you saw there is an Englishman. So before, when I was in elementary, I thought this sentence was correct. But when I was in grade 7, I was corrected by my teacher. She told me that I should use an when the next word begins with a vowel sound. So the correct construction of this sentence is, the man you saw there is an Englishman. Next, we have between versus among. The word between is used to refer to two or sometimes more things that are clearly separated, while the word among is used to refer to things that are not clearly separated because they are part of a group. For example, there wasn't much unity between the council members. Up until now, I thought this sentence was correct. But as I researched about between and among, I realized that I was wrong because the council members here were not separated. They are considered as a one group. So the correct construction of the sentence is, there wasn't much unity among the council members. Next grammatical errors, we have like versus likes. Like is used when the subject is plural, while likes is used when the subject is singular. For example, every student liked the teacher. So way back when I was in grade 7, I thought this sentence was correct. But when I was in grade 9, I was corrected by my teacher. He told me that when the subject is singular, I must use likes. When the subject is plural, I must use like. So the correct construction of this sentence is every student likes the teacher. So it must be likes because every student is a singular. So again, the correct construction of the sentence is every student likes the teacher. Next common grammatical errors, we have amount versus number. Amount should be used for something uncountable, while numbers should be used for the things you can quantify or you can count. For example, a large number of dirt. So the first time I read this sentence, I thought it was correct. But as I dig deeper to the rules of using amount and the rules of using number, I realized that this sentence was wrong. Supposed to be, this sentence should use amount because dirt here is uncountable. So the correct construction of the sentence is a large amount of dirt. Second to the last common grammatical error, we have who versus whom. Who functions as a subject and when the word is performing the action, while whom functions as an object and when the word is receiving the action. For example, this is my student who I like a lot. Up until now, I still use this kind of construction of sentence because I thought this is correct. But as I dig deeper, as I research about the usage of who and the usage of whom, I realized that this sentence was incorrect. Because this sentence supposed to use whom because student here is the one that receives the action. So the correct construction of the sentence is this is my student whom I like a lot. For the last common grammatical errors, we have does versus did. So the word does is the simple present tense of the word do and it is used only when referring to a single person. While the word did is the simple past tense of the word do and it can be used when referring to a single or plural number of persons. For example, Joanna did need a helping hand right now. Up until now, it still confuses me when to use does and when to use did. So I did my research on the rules of the usage of does and the rules of the usage of did. So I realized that this sentence was incorrect. This sentence happens in the present time, so it must use does. So the correct construction of the sentence is Joanna does need a helping hand right now. That's it for my 20 common grammatical errors. I hope you learned something from my video presentation. Again, this is Gian Monilar. Thank you for watching and have a good day.